everybody, it's Christian here from Triple C Man Games. So this video is very interesting. I actually just watched one of Pokey, who I really enjoy. Conversation with this guy. He's pretty cool, and he had a good point on his most recent video. Pokemon business is not easy, and I learned this myself very recently. So if you've been watching the channel, I'm stationed in Japan, active Navy, and Marissa back stateside in Virginia, taking care of the business. Okay, so backstory on the business specifically is a couple years ago, I got Marissa really into Pokemon cards, and she loved it so much. She's like, "Well, why can't I just do this for a job?" She stays home, takes care of her grandfather, and why not? Well, why can't you do something that works from home and maybe turn the hobby into some sort of small revenue, right? We didn't think it was going to be anything super big, but then she started thinking. She's like, well, wait a second, I can do this, and make more money out of it, right? Why not, right? And so her thought is like, well, hold on. I like this stuff, but there's gotta be millions of other people out there in the world that like this stuff too. So why can't I make this an actual thing? And so she goes out and she tries to learn this stuff, right? And she didn't really get any assistance. There's no one really sat down with her and helped her along and guided her to the process. She just did the research, and she started researching that, hey, she wanted to go do an LLC route. So first thing she got to do is got the LLC. Perfect. Cost money. All right, cool. Well, then we're going to do, well, how am I going to sell my product? Well, let's do a website. So Pokey said that he used Wix, so she checked out Wix, and boom, there it is, Wix. Got to pay for that too, right? So now you got to pay for your the website. You got to pay for the domain that you have to have for that. You have to have the pay for the LLC. Then you got to start thinking, well, where am I going to keep my product at? Am I going to have a storefront? Am I going to do it from my house? Am I going to do what? Like, how am I getting the product? Am I going to buy secondhand? Am I going to buy from a distributor? Am I going to go out and battle the masses at the store and try my chances at opening day or pre-release day and go out and get those Pokemon or certain items I need? Honestly, that's very risky. You've been watching the news lately. Those up in Canada when the new blooming water stuff recently. I mean, people are just fighting each other. It was just like the pinkish red Stanley, at Target. Like, come on, like, is that what we come to these days? So we as people, we as a free commerce, we as a country where, hey, go, you charge what you want, do what you want. Have your hobbies, make your money however you want to, right? But we've got to the point where we're going to run people over in the stores and push them down and steal stuff and cause fights and stuff because we want the product more than they do. Like, we need that extra buck. Like, come on now. Like, think about this. Think about how crazy that is, right? We are adults, and it is massively adults doing this stuff, right? And ironically, it's mostly men. Shame on you, man. Shame on you that you're going out there and you're literally battling just to save a buck or two or to gain a buck or two again, essentially. So anyways, she does all this work, gets all this stuff set up, starts to realize it's not that easy. Took her, I don't know, say 2-3 months to find a distributor, and she didn't know what she was looking for, and so she just trial and error, essentially. So she got a distributor in Japan. She came out here in April last year, and, she kind of figured it out. Saw some good product, realized the market was pretty good for it, but didn't really know what she was ultimately getting herself into. Didn't realize how much work it's going to take to do this business. And I bring this up because recently, a good friend of mine, he reached out to some friends, and he's like, hey, I'm interested in doing a website, and I want to turn my hobby into a business. And I don't think he realizes how much work that is. He's active duty. He's about to transfer to a new job. He's got a wife. He's got kids. And his job's going to work 10, 12 hours a day. And so I'm trying to think to myself, you can go out and make your own website all you want to. But in order to maintain your website, pay for your website, get your domain up, legally binding protection for yourself, right? Have a steady flow of product, have a steady flow of customer base, do the research, and so on. It is not easy. And I commend people that have been successful at doing so. I try to tell him that if it's just a hobby and you think, hey, I want to make a quick buck or two, which is cool, or maybe take some of the stuff you have and sell those off, right, and make some money back to continue your hobby, like the majority of us that do that, comics and cards or whatever else we do, right, Matchbox, whatever it is, right, there are sites for that. You could go to eBay, right, you could use Facebook, you can use Instagram, you can use Macari, there's other entities, even TCG Player. You can sell directly through TCG Player to get your product sold. Now you're going to pay a fee, of course. It's a third-party entity, but honestly, that's better than paying $1,000 for your domain and getting your website set up, and then having any chargeback issues or having fraudulent charges or not being able to produce. Or now you got to find a distributor for your product, or now you got to buy this product in the store, and then I want to open it and see that works out, but then you're losing money that way because you can't sell the product to make up the money that you spent. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to buy a product, MSRP or wholesale or whatever at the store or off someone's secondhand, and you're going to spend more money than you're going to make based off opening the product in the first place. It's things like that I'm not quite sure that people ultimately understand, that this is a livelihood thing. And Marissa's been spending, let's say, in the beginning, she spent an hour a day. She thought that's all it's going to take. But here in the last few months, she's realized that that's not the case. She didn't sell much at all for the first 6 months. And so, to get her product, she was trying to get loans. Didn't have enough capital for loans. Was trying to get a storefront. Didn't have a capital for a storefront. A lot of places didn't even want to bring a Pokemon trading card business into their area. They thought it wasn't profitable enough. Well, that's not the customer base that they wanted to have in their area. Little do they know, is a massive calling for that stuff in the United States these days. You're talking to billions and billions of dollars are spent every year on freaking Pokemon cards. Not just Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Dragon Ball, Lorcana. You goes on and on and on. There's so many things. Adults spend so much money for their kids, for themselves, on hobbies. And cards is a big hobby. And that's just the trading cards. That's not talking about the sports cards, the tops, the pristine, the whatever, the upper decks, all the stuff, that stuff's another side of the business that, we don't necessarily deal with, but you could, and you could reach a broader genre of people, but now you're spreading yourself even thinner, especially for a startup business, especially for a small business. And I thought to myself, listen, man, I'm thinking to myself, man, he doesn't understand how hard this is going to be. And it's not just him. A lot of other people I know recently just got back into Pokemon. And you see him posting on their story on Facebook or talking about, they got to score a good deal, or hey, I sold these cards, right? Cool, man. Sell away. Go ahead. Sell those small potatoes here and there, right? But unless you want to really put the work in and you want to really find those nooks and crannies and those solid product deals, you got to take some hard work, some dedicated aspects to your life. And that's going to get complicated, especially if you got a family, especially if you got friends, especially if you got things you want to do outside of just working 24/7. Now, I'm not saying you're going to work every single day, all the time. But I mean, you could very much could so, or could. And I bring that up because, once Marissa got the website up, got the LLC taken care of, started figuring out the product, well, she couldn't get the product, right? So what'd she do? Business credit cards, right? And so she first learned about this from Pokiani talking about revolving credit, right? So, hey, I'm going to buy my product, and then every month I'm going to pay my product off based on my sales. But you got to sell enough to pay off your product. And if you're not advertising, which costs money, if you're not putting in 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, you're not, networking. If you don't have the platform, if you're not seen, if you're not on the Google search bar, I mean, if you're not making yourself known, then you're not making any money. Is what it comes down to. And you may break even. I think this year we've spent, on our startup business, probably close to $60,000 or $70,000, and we've probably only made, I would say maybe $30,000 or $40,000. Because you got to get your name out there. And it wasn't until this latter half of the year, October, November, December time period, where we were able to really get the website flowing, return customers. Now we're up to 50, 60, 70 return customers. They come back once a month or twice a month, if not more. I mean, my Wix app just pops off the chain, and it's just like, hey, oh, this person's checking in, this person's looking at this, person's looking at this. And it's really cool when they do, because you're like, yeah, man, this is awesome. Returning customers, that's what you want. But you also want new customers too. And if you don't put the work in, you ain't getting new customers. The one thing that can benefit you is that if you cut deals and you do some sales and you give discounts to your current customers, it's likely they're going to refer you to other people, which just happened recently. Had a guy named Wesley. He saw one of my posts on Facebook for promoting the business, and he went to the website, started looking around, put this in the cart, put that in the cart, left for a little bit. He referred somebody, referred a friend or a relative, and boom, they came back. And they literally got 25% off because of the referral code on the site. So they each spent over $200, but they saved $50-some a piece. And that's some good money to save for your first big purchase at a business, And became members, and now they're returning members. Came back another day and bought some more stuff. So that's how it's done. And I know this is like, maybe I don't know everything about this business stuff, right? And I'm learning. Now that I graduated and I'm good to go on my school, I got more time on my hands. And I only got 5 months left. And when I get back to Virginia, it's balls to the wall, essentially, right? It's y'all have my job, but I'm retired in 2 years. Like I literally retired July 2027. So I'm gonna put more time and effort into assisting Marissa with the business, because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I should do. I want her to succeed. I want us to succeed. And it's not easy. So for everyone out there that says, hey, I can make this Pokemon business, you're right. You can. You can absolutely create a Pokemon business, small or big. But it purely depends on you. How much time, how much dedication, how much work, how much do you want to devote to this? And how much is it going to take away from the rest of your life? Do you like going to the gym? Do you like hanging out with friends? Like going to the bar, hanging out with them for a little bit? Go to a concert? You like date nights? You like, you got kids? You got to spend time with your kids? You got to help them with homework? All that takes time. You like to sleep, don't you? Well, I mean, there's only so many hours in a day. And if you say you have your own job and you work at 8 to 10 hours a day, maybe you commute to work. Then you got to come home and you got to work this Pokemon business for another 6 to 8, 10 hours a day. What's left? There's nothing, and I just don't think people realize how difficult it can be, how challenging it can be. But if you put your mind to it, you can succeed. And the networking piece is probably the most important part of it. There are people that Marissa has met through the business. They were customers, and there still are customers that are referring her out. that are bringing people over to our place of residence or our place of business and buying, trading, selling stuff, right? I mean, shit, the other day she had someone come over and they spent like a $3,000. And I was like, damn, right? Like who knew? So it's not just selling online either. You got to be available. You got to be, open to people coming to your place. And like I said, we do it out of our home right now. She takes care of her grandfather. It's not like she can just go have a place out in town somewhere because I'm gone. There's no one there to take care of him sometimes, and that's a big burden on us. Not to say burden, but it's a big, ask of us. And so she takes care of him. She takes care of the business. And then she got to worry about me being over here and my kids still. Like that's a lot to ask. And so for those of you that think, hey, I can do it, you're right, you can do it, But just know there's a lot to do in the process. And I encourage you to look at YouTube videos, do the research, figure some things out, because every state is different. By watching Pokey Annie, I learned a lot from him, specifically about taxes and stuff, right? And that's something that we're dealing with right now. Normally, or at least in the business world, from my understanding, you're going to look at taxes like every quarter. We didn't do that this year. Mistake number one, right? Didn't know the tax situation in Virginia, okay? And sure enough, get the thing in the mail, hey, you ain't paid taxes. And she's like, well, damn. Well, damn's right. And so that's what she's doing. She did all this all year long, did all this selling with no QuickBook, with no database. And so now now I guess January, February, she's pretty much selling and figuring out the QuickBook aspect. How does she tally it? How does she decide what she made, what she didn't make for tax purposes? And like I said, it's not a 6-figure business or anything. It's not a 7-figure business or anything, but it's going to get there with hard work and dedication. But it's going to have some trials, tribulations along the way. Taxes are coming up soon. We're probably going to take a $30,000 loss, if not more, on our business for year one. And that's because we still have supplies sitting there that hasn't been sold. When I walked in my house when I came back home for the Christmas holiday, I couldn't believe how much product we had. There's so much Japanese product. We have plushies. We've got binders. We've got English product. I got Japanese, what is it? Like Disney cards there. We've got Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, you name it, right? Dragon Ball, but these items are not necessarily selling. We have a variety on the website to attract more people in the event that, hey, I'll try these out one time, and then maybe we can expand our inventory more. A lot of times, we use those and we sell those items at conventions. We'll go to a convention on a weekend, or we'll go and trade some stuff up that way, right? But honestly, it's challenging. If you're not on your game and you don't know the market prices, you don't know how to, save a buck or two here and there, you know how to ship stuff. Like that was a big one. She didn't have shipping costs and couldn't figure out which one. And then all of a sudden, big, large order. And she's like, well, damn, I didn't make any money off this order. I was like, what do you mean? Well, shipping and taxes. And she's like, I literally made $- I said, that's not good business practice. So you got to look back and say, hey, what's the market price value? What am I getting it for, my distributor? What can I sell it for but still make a profit and still bring in customers? One of my biggest complaints is the other day I posted on Facebook. I posted on a bunch of groups that I'm in for Pokemon stuff, right? For the Terrestrial Festival. And we've got 50 plus boxes still at the house. We got we got a third order in because we were selling pretty good. Well, as we get closer to the Prismatic Evolutions release, which we know that's a debacle in itself, I find that the Terrestrial Festival is still popular, but not as popular, at least not in the States. But here in Japan, it's super popular. You can't buy it at all. It is wiped off the shelf. You cannot literally go to any store and buy it at all. You can't buy Electric Breaker. You can't buy Terrestrial Festival. And you can't buy the new stuff about Battle Partners that's being released. I spent 4.5 hours the other day on Pokemon Center for Japan trying to wait in the queue just to purchase a second set of pre-orders that they released on January 7th. Goose egg. Nothing. 4.5 hours is what I said. Thankfully, Marissa's got 20 cases or 20 boxes, whatever it is, going to the house because we got it from the distributor. I couldn't get anything. I tried to get 5 boxes. And even at 5 boxes, the website only allowed you to order 1 box. It's because of that freaking promo code with Iono on it. Everybody loves Iono, especially here in Japan. And so, yeah, that's not going to be... I mean, I could probably go to a shop and order it, but it's not going to be here until freaking February, March. At least February, March, is what they're telling me. So, why pre-order it? Right? Why pre-order it when I can just... All right, I'll just wait until it comes in and be done with it. But yeah, so it's Toraso Festival. Off topic here. So I posted this on a Facebook page, and someone's like, oh man, you're selling $90? That's like, I see them going all day for $60, $65, $70. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know where you're looking at, but there ain't no way someone's buying those for $60, $65, or selling them for $60, $65 or $70 on the website. I mean, TCG market value is currently $92. And we actually lowered ours down to $85. And people were still complaining. I mean, we didn't even get them from the distributor. The first batch cost us like $46, I think it was. So it's over $60. The second set we got, third set, they were $68, $70 a batch. I mean, like, yeah, I'll sell them to you for $75, but I'm not making any money off of them, honestly, and that's not worth my time. If that's the case, I'd rather just keep the money locked up, keep them in a case for the time being, and don't sit on them until you want to buy them, and watch the market value go up. Oh, when they're $140 a box, then I'll sell it to you. Your choice. So, I just think it's funny that people, they think they know so much about the market because, they watch this and watch. But listen, I live in Japan. I know what the Japanese market's like right now. It's ridiculous here. And the fact that the card values are not as valuable in the States is unbelievable. I just can't believe it. I can't believe the exact same card, because it's not English words, it's Japanese words. It's like 100% different in price. Like, how are you going to be a $400 Pikachu in English, and the Japanese is like $200? I can't believe it's twice the price. I saw one in the store, 40,000 yen. So 40,000 yen is like $200 and some dollars. So I mean, yeah, it's expensive too, but it's not $450 for a freaking card that just released. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just going off a rant here, but I think that it's important that people understand that if you want to do a Pokemon business, you got to do your research, and you got to find some understanding in yourself. Like, hey, what's my goals? What are my expectations? And how much time am I willing to devote to this? And if it's not 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, and if it's not thousands and thousands of dollars, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a long while, actually. And you're not going to have a customer base. You're not going to have a platform. You're not going to really make any major money. And even when you do start selling, it doesn't mean you make any money, because you still got to pay off all those product. You still got to pay your time. The one thing I think I remember most about Pokeani's videos that I watch is that he talks about the dollar per hour. In the United States, we have a big problem with, I think minimum wage should be $20 an hour. Well, you know how much Marissa's making an hour? I would say probably like $1. I mean, when you have your own business and you're putting in 10, 12, even sometimes 14 hours. I mean, she was up all day until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning this morning, working on business, organizing product, getting QuickBooks set up, getting the website redone. Because every time you sell something, you got to put a new product up, or you're out of stock. Now I got to put that on my list. Now I got to go do the inventory. Now I got to go do this. Like, it's a lot of freaking work. And I guess people just don't understand. Hey, by all means, you can do it. You can try it out. But I don't want to tell you I told you so. That's what it comes down to. But be mindful. Think about it. Get your goals in order. Get your goals. Figure out how you want to handle business, and go. I mean, trial and error is really the best way to learn here, and that's how we've learned a lot. We by no means are perfect. Like I said, we're not making any crazy dollars here, okay? Like I said, we're actually in the hole in our business, but I think that's okay after year one. If year two we don't start making more progress, maybe it might be time to just rethink some things. Because that's like, as I get close to my military retirement, it'd be great to have a business. I'd love to have a storefront, but we can't afford it right now. The business doesn't have enough revenue to make the payments on a storefront. I mean, I got my other bills I got to worry about. So it's not like we made $100,000 this year. It's not like, oh, I bought $70,000 in supplies, but I turned around and made $100,000, and so I'm actually positive. I'm a plus 30. That's not how that works. not in year one, anyways. So think about your expectations here, okay? And let me know. Let me know in the comments section what you think. Do you think it's easy? Is it even like? Do people think it's way easier than what it actually is? I mean, I don't care. I'll compete with you all day. We will compete. We'll go out there. We'll help you out. I told my buddy, I said, hey, man, reach out to Marissa. She'll help you get the website set up. I have no problem with it. Because at the end of the day, the only way you're going to be successful is if you continue to put the effort and time into your business. People always say, like, you are only as good as what you do for yourself. And that's whether that's education, whether that's go to the gym, whether that's, surround yourself with good people. Unfortunately, that's not, I mean, I shouldn't say that. That should be a relatively, I think, understood statement. But maybe maybe it isn't. Maybe we don't understand those things as much as we thought we did. And so I'll end my Pokemon business discussion here on that. Try it. See how it works out for you. Reach out to us. Let us know what you think. Tell us your story. We'll tell you ours. It's been a trying one for sure, especially without her husband there. Me being overseas and her being, in Virginia, and with other family dynamics that have been come up too. And we're here. And so let me know what you think. Anyways, that's it. Christian out.